So you're an enterprise and you don't think you can do innovation? Really? Really? Over the last 10 years, I have built, managed, scaled, and advised dozens of analytics business units, generating tens of millions of recurring revenue. This video series is a platform for me to share those learnings and to start a conversation with you. My name is Charles Holive, and welcome to Hacking the Analytics Apps Economy. So if you know my background, I've had the chance to both work in a very large enterprise, GE, at the time 300,000 plus employees, and also in a startup, Sisense, the company I'm working with right now. And it's been very interesting for me to draw a couple of parallels in terms of the ability to innovate. And what I realized is the enterprise, if only they decided to, really has an opportunity to innovate, but more importantly, to outscale innovation from a startup. And so there are a couple of items, if you think about it, that enterprise should be aware of when they do a data monetization exercise. Here is a set of challenges a startup is facing, and here is why the enterprise should outscale a startup if they decided to. Number one, it's difficult for a startup to find customers. It's really easy for enterprise to find customers. Simple fact is they already have hundreds, if not thousands. And so if you empower your frontline employees to innovate with their customers, being your service employees or your product teams that have access to so many customers, well, the knowledge you need in order to do a good analytics application and to iterate on building a better product or better service, well, enterprise really have an edge there. The second one is customer proximity. So the customer you want to partner with that has the right mindset to develop your initiative at the beginning might not be next to you. And actually, enterprise, they have customer everywhere. And so once again, if the partner you want, you're in San Francisco and he's in New York, if you're a startup, that's kind of a no. You know, I have that many employees, I'm not going to put them on a plane and go back and forth. And so enterprise really have access. And I remember doing innovation with countries that had needed the innovation a bit more. And I had the chance to work with Asia or with countries in Africa. And there the innovation was a bit easier because the sense of urgency was much greater than in countries like the US or France or the UK. So again, you have access. If you have a good idea, you want to try this idea, you have access to customers. Number three is domain expertise. So startups here are really, really good. Usually the founders have a good idea. They're good in tech. They're going to be good in healthcare. They might have a background in the industry that they're starting their company for. But they are going to be very focused on one thing. They're going to have to cut all the fat and focus on this one initiative that they believe is going to be a good market fit. Well, enterprise, they can try many more things. They usually have more than one business line. So they can try doing analytics applications and analytics monetization across more than one business line. And that's, to me, a huge advantage. Because if you've listened to the other video, it's all about trying, failing, and learning. And so if I can try only one thing and iterate on this one idea, it's good, but it's not as good as if I try 10 things. And if you can activate a couple of general managers in your enterprise company, well, chances are 1, 2, 3 out of 10 will actually be very successful. And that will pay for all the other ones learning and trying. Now you're going to tell me enterprise have all the benefits. No, not true. The challenges for an enterprise is everybody's got an opinion. And so having one infrastructure is really tricky. Well, startups, you're not going to have room or even the need to have 2, 3 initiatives or 2, 3 infrastructures to deliver analytics apps. And so enterprise, just get together, agree on the platform, and just create value-added apps on top of that platform. The second thing where the flexibility for a startup is a huge advantage is actually the ability to pivot potentially. So you can shift to a different market. You have less to risk because your brand is not as important. So there's a bit more risk tolerance and also the processes to do revenue recognition and the financials and the accounting and the sales rep will be much simpler than what you can find in the old enterprise, where it's very complex between the different silos. But again, enterprise, it's your decision. Just appoint a chief data officer, give them the responsibility to build a vertical P&L and to enable every other silos. And then actually you have a huge chance, if you use a single platform, an harmonized go-to-market, to outperform any startup. Because that's what you want, scaling. And I think this is where startup will be successful. And I really enjoy being in this innovation framework where it's all about, if I do it one, can I do it 100 times? But same with enterprise. If you're successful with one customer and you have 10,000 customers, think about the opportunity. You're talking about tens of millions, maybe $1 billion just worth of analytics apps. And so when it comes to data monetization, I'd say it's a play for all of us. It's not just for the startup that can innovate and desperately need it in their product to be differentiated and compete with the enterprise. But it's also a play for the enterprise that has tremendous amount of data, tremendous amount of domain expertise, tremendous access to customers to actually create and iterate. And so overall, I don't think there's anyone that's gonna win. It's the one that really try, the one that go after it, the one that put the right organization in place, the right investments behind it. So very important to me. Enterprise can be good startups. And yes, this is the usual. If you like it, please comment, please engage in the conversation. You can subscribe right here, and I'll be looking forward to engaging with you in the next video.